My first guest is Jim Borders. He's president and CEO of Novair Group, a pioneer of the region's mixed-use developments. Thanks for being here, Jim. I appreciate your time on the show. Wondering off the top, what did you all discuss, or how did you know that Metro Atlanta was ready for Metropolis?
We had great empirical evidence because catty-corner to the site upon which Metropolis sits is a project called Peachtree Lofts, which was a 1952 government office building that we converted into apartments first for use as a hotel during the 1996 Olympics. And then we leased it up apartments, and then we converted it to condominiums in 1999 and discovered an in-town market of 25 to 34-year-olds who wanted to own, who wanted a very big city experience. And so we sold that project out very quickly and turned our eyes around to see what we could build new.
The demand was there for sure.
Yes.
Tell me about the goal, the concept of shops on the bottom, residents on top.
We wanted to create a mixed-use environment. We wanted to create, again, a big city experience there. And for Metropolis, the vision was, what was it that the purchaser liked at Peachtree Lofts, and how could we make that better? What we determined was that we would create a product where it was all about light and air. It was going to be high-rise, floor-to-ceiling glass. We wanted to keep the homes relatively small so we could control the price point, but the floor-to-ceiling glass would make them seem larger. Wanted a great amenity package. So that's one of the reasons we have 498 condominiums at Metropolis, was so we could spread the cost over the 1-acre park with a pool and a fitness center that sits up on the 8th floor. We could spread those costs through all of those condominiums.
What do you think the quality of life is for those that have chosen to live there?
That's really the big story, is that it's fantastic. I mean, to be able to come out and really live in what is very similar to a luxury resort in the middle of Midtown Atlanta. One of the things that we focused on when we were doing Metropolis was we really wanted it to be a luxury product for the young. And so what happens is that the 25 to 34 demographic, they actually care what their parents think.
They actually bring them along, probably.
They bring them along when they're making their purchase, which is great. As a parent now, that's kind of nice. And so they care. So mom and dad come in. Well, mom and dad look at this and say, boy, I wish I'd had a place like this when I was 30 years old. And so that was one of the most gratifying parts of the sales experience for us.
What about public officials? How did public officials respond?
Public officials loved it. Again, the Midtown community really loved it. City of Atlanta got a lot of support from the City of Atlanta for this building. I mean, this is what we're looking for. This is nirvana when it comes to urban development. Very dense, 498 units on 2.4 acres. It doesn't get a lot better than that.
Other elements that you think might be missing in Metro Atlanta that really add to this full urban experience?
I mean, the obvious thing is just ability for people to be connected and be places easier. The transportation network, we're working on that. Obviously the streetcar project is a big initiative in-town Atlanta. Continuing to provide resources to MARTA to get people north and south, east and west in the city. For sure, those kind of programs need to continue.
Look long-term with me. What do you think Metro Atlanta needs to do in order to continue to develop good quality developments and really control growth as we go forward?
Well, there needs to be support for density, and there isn't always support for density. Density is in almost all cases, a positive thing, even though sometimes people don't see it that way. Also, the ability to get from the place a person lives to the place that they work to the place that they play. If those are all together in a mixed-use development, the problem's solved. But otherwise, that's the issue, is transportation.
Long term.
Yes.
All right. With that, I'd say thank you very much. Jim Borders, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks for coming to see me.
Thank you so much.
You bet.